16 people are dead in the latest round of fighting between Israel and the Palestinians. And according to the Interior Minister in Gaza, more than 100 people have been hurt, including dozens of women and children. Israel is releasing video of its deadly airstrike on YouTube and Twitter. It's a tactic the Israeli military has been using for quite some time. In fact, the Israeli military has its own official YouTube channel. And if you go there today, it explains how the Israeli military tries to protect Palestinian civilians.
Despite the fact that Hamas operates from civilian areas, the IDF has consistently taken measures to minimize casualties to innocent bystanders by placing phone calls, recorded warnings, and leaflets, all intended to alert civilian bystanders.
That's just a bit of it. Arsalan Iftikhar is an international human rights lawyer and the author of the book Islamic Pacifism, Global Muslims in the Post-Osama Era. He joins us now from Washington. Welcome.
Good morning, Carol. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, we're glad you're here. I have mixed feelings about the use of social media in times of war. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's a pretty surreal experience right now. I think for many Middle East observers, what we're starting to see, is another tragic version of Groundhog's Day, it seems. 4 years ago, many people will remember there was Operation Cast Lead, which was an escalation known as the Gaza War, which killed over 1,300 Palestinians and 14 Israelis. And now it seems with this recent escalation, now we see both the IDF and Hamas take to social media like Twitter and are basically live casting the war in 140 characters or less.
I know, and on both sides, there is, what we heartlessly call collateral damage, as in civilians being injured or killed. I want to give you another example. Israel's social media campaign, it doesn't stop with YouTube videos. It's also on Twitter. The Israeli defense spokesperson wrote this, or tweeted this, and I quote, "We recommend that no Hamas operatives, whether low-level or senior leaders, show their faces above ground in the days ahead." Do these terrorists actually read tweets like this?
It's one of those things, Carol, where I think we're losing, the true humanizing toll that this war is taking. The fact that, over 16 Palestinian civilians have been killed, including the 11-month-old baby of the BBC World News Arabic cameraman. The 3 Israelis were killed in an apartment building today. This sort of propaganda war on both sides is not conducive, and especially, as you mentioned earlier in your broadcast, with the ever-changing landscape in the Middle East, with protests in Jordan next door, obviously with the ongoing Syrian civil war, with Bashar al-Assad killing his own people, with Egypt, since Egypt and Israel had a military agreement to combat Salafist gunmen in the Sinai, with Turkey's chilling relations with Israel. I'm much more concerned, about the real missiles that are falling in the Middle East as opposed to the missile in David Petraeus' pants that many Americans are focused on these days.
Yeah, so give us a sense, because Egypt's president has already reached out to President Obama and said he views this as an act of aggression on Israel's part and this must stop. But Israel is a great friend of the United States, so should the United States get involved in this latest violence there, or just sit back and see what happens?
Well, I think what Israel and Palestine have both proved time and time again they are wholly incapable of reaching a comprehensive, lasting, peaceful solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I think now that President Obama has won a second term, he now has the political capital in the second term to forge a foreign policy legacy that he didn't have the political capital to do in his first term. So if I were the Obama administration, I would appoint Bill Clinton as a Middle East peace envoy. He has credibility both on the Israeli street and in the Arab world with the Camp David Accords and with the Clinton Global Initiative. We as Americans, the United Nations has to get involved. We have to send a message to both Israel and Palestine that there is absolutely no military violence solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It can only be a peaceful and political one.
Arsalan Iftikhar, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Carol. Thank you.